This video is for our soaping collaboration. I'm going to be making cold process soap like the ones you see here. So to get started, you're going to need your personal protective equipment. We're talking gloves, mask, goggles, as you see there. And that's because the fumes from the lye are, pretty strong. So you also don't want to get it on your skin. You'll notice I have my countertop covered with like cardboard. So I break down like, 12 pack containers or something. I've got a digital scale here so I can weigh everything out. I've already mixed up all my oils and butters, so you see that there. There's my soap mold I'll be using and a little stirring stick. Sodium hydroxide flakes are your lye. Make sure it's sodium hydroxide, not potassium hydroxide. I've pre-mixed an oil there for fragrance, and these are some fragrance oils. You can use essential oils too, but here is some I Like clay. I'm going to do that for some coloring. And you see a green bottle there. It's got alcohol in it that I spray on the top. There's a mixing container that's real handy because you can mix it up and just pour it right in. And then, of course, my Pyrex dish, that's what I'm going to use to add in distilled water and mix my lye with. The spatula is really good because once you add in your fragrances, you might want to just mix with a spatula because then you can come to trace real quick. You can see my oil blend. I followed a recipe, but I've got some shea butter in there. And one thing you can do too is when you're mixing oils, you can even mix oil up for the next time around and make it quicker for yourself. I'm going to use an immersion blender, and I've also got a infrared thermometer here, just like a digital thermometer to check the temperature of things because that is crucial to the process. So anyways, this is everything that you need to get started. This is the book that I used to make this soap, and there's a recipe in here. I didn't do the design the same, but it's called Neon Swirl. So this is the recipe I followed with all of the ingredients. This is what helps me determine the amount of lye and water that I need, that you'll see me mixing up here with 7.2 ounces of distilled water and 3 ounces of lye. All right, so whenever you are mixing your lye with your water, make sure you add your lye to the water, not the other way around. The water with the lye in there is going to get super duper hot. So you got to make sure you use a heat-proof container. I'm using this Pyrex, works fine for me. And you'll see I've got gloves on. I'm wearing long sleeves. You don't want to get this on your skin. And the fumes that it emits when it's mixed, well, shoot, even when you're pouring the lye, there's fumes that come off of that you really don't want to breathe in. So make sure you have your mask on. As I mix all of this in here, once it's all completely mixed, the flakes are going to turn clear. Then you'll have this clear liquid. I've set it outside. I was just checking to see how hot it was. You can't really tell here, but it was about 128 degrees. While that's setting out there, putting my oils with my butter in the microwave so I can melt that down. And I'm going to go ahead and mix up my fragrance oil. You can see I need 1.8 ounces of fragrance oil. And in addition to the fragrance oil, I'm going to go ahead and also mix up my colorant that I'll be using. I'm mixing 1 tablespoon oil with 1 teaspoon of my colorant, which is I Like Clay in Orange. Okay, so we can start mixing when the lye and the oil are both below 120 degrees. So that's what you're seeing me check here, and then we're going to go ahead and get this mixed. All right, so here you see me adding in the lye to the oil and tapping my immersion blender on the bottom of the bowl to get rid of any air bubbles that might get caught up in there. And then you're going to see me start to blend. It does not take long for your emulsion to come to trace, which just means it kind of gets like a pancake batter type of consistency. And I fast forwarded it here, but literally it only takes several minutes and you can start to see the lines on top of the emulsion here. I'm going to go ahead. So I'm good. I'm at a small trace, but once you add your fragrance oils, those can impact your trace and can also speed it up. And if it starts to look thick, you don't even want to use your emulsion blender at this point. You just want to use like a spatula or something to stir it. So as soon as I saw it start to thicken even more, you can see I'm not really using the emulsion blender as a blender, but I'm just kind of stirring it around here a little bit just to get it all mixed up. And then you can see a really good strong trace here as it sits sort of on top. So remember, I had my colorant mixed up. I'm going to go ahead and add in some of this there before I pour the rest of it into the soap mold. So I've got that, and then I'm going to add the rest to the soap mold and get everything moving. You can see how thick it is here as I'm pouring it. So just allow for when you're mixing it up before you put in whatever your fragrance or essential oils, just remember it does thicken. All right, and then you're gonna see me, trying to make some designs, kind of stirring it up to go with what I want it to look like when it's all done. So I did quite a bit of that. And then you'll see me tap it on the countertop to remove bubbles. You wanna do that so you don't have holes in your soap afterwards. And then I'm also spraying the top with alcohol because that's to prevent like the soda ashy, white look on top of it that occurs sometimes with cold process soap. So here's also some pictures of the final design. I hope you all enjoyed this, and I tried to make it as brief as possible. I'll have more soaping videos coming soon. Watch everybody's. We've got other people joining in the collaboration. I will put the playlist down below. And thank you all so much for watching. See you on the next one. Remember, everybody, keep your joy.